Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Me First Mornings, where we explore the tools, stories, and strategies that help you build resilience, start over after loss, and of course, navigate life's twists and turns so that you can feel clarity and confidence moving through your day. I am your host, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I'm an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. I also love to read cards, as I often do on my show. So if you are watching, please go ahead and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, if you're watching on the replay or if you're watching live. Just say hi and let me know what's going on. So today's topic is energy. So your energy, no, yesterday's topic was energy. Today's topic is focus. Oh my God, where am I? See, jeez, sorry guys. I am working through this wonderful stuff that what? No, no, where am I? Okay, sorry guys. Today's focus is not energy. That's how I knew I was on the wrong script. I have to jot things down because my brain is always going like a mile a minute. And so I need to have some semblance of an idea of where we are going in our conversation. Otherwise, this will just be like hanging out with me for half an hour, and the conversation will take so many different paths and routes that I don't know, I'll feel like a subway map. Unless you know what's going on in this head, you're not going to follow it. All right. Having a little coffee. Cheers to you if you have a beverage. I appreciate you being here and sharing that time with me. So let's go back. Today's topic is focus. And what are we talking about? Well, focus, where you direct your attention, has the power to change your life. Okay. And I know there are days when doubts, fears, and anxieties creep in, especially when you're pushing past your comfort zone and it's really hard to stay focused on the prize, right? When you're hearing voices or that inner critic, or you've got all of these fears and anxieties about taking steps or doing whatever you're doing, it's really difficult to stay focused. But here's the truth: you are in control of what you choose to nurture in your life. And your power lies in where you place your focus, right? I said the quote yesterday from James Redfield, right? Where your attention goes, energy flows, okay? And the attention part is the focus part of that statement, right? So where your focus goes, energy flows. What you're paying attention to, what you're activating by your attention. I mean, there is even scientific evidence that particles, um, that if they are being observed, it changes how they behave. So everything changes with your observation, which means that there is power in that observation. There's power in that focus and in that control. And we're going to talk about some of that power today. But first, we are going to do our usual little morning ritual because I like to do that along with you and it gets us ready and calibrated for our day. So let's do that first. Oh, I already lit the candle. I lit the candle this morning, just making sure that it was working. So we'll just pretend, okay? I'm going to pretend that there we go. Okay, yeah, here it's lit. It's that blue waffles candle again, or blueberry waffles. It's so good. And yesterday, after I left my office area, I left the candle on because I was letting it burn. You know how it has to like burn the whole layer. Otherwise, you end up with this cave effect in your candle, and then it just stops working. Meanwhile, there's so much wax. Okay, well, if you didn't know that happens, then now you know. Anyway, I left my office, went upstairs to do some work, and later came down, had forgotten that I left my candle. I know it's terrible, but I had planned to come back to the office a little later, so I knew I would remember eventually. But I had forgotten that the candle was on, and I walk into my basement, and suddenly the smell of blueberry waffles was so intense. And I was like, what is that smell? And then I went, oh, my candle. So, I guess it's good to have scented candles so that if nothing else, you can remember by the scent to put them out. Okay. All right. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough like, it's been a rough go. I just wanna take a minute before we do this breath because we really need to calibrate, and I just wanna say, if you are watching right now and you're struggling and you're going through a rough time and you just don't know which end is up and you don't know how you're going to get through this. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to get through it either, but I do know that I will be here, that I am here, and that we can do hard things, taking the quote right from Glennon Doyle. For those of you who follow her, I really appreciate her and her work. We can do hard things. And my own addition to that statement is that we can do hard things better together. And so that's why I want to show up here and help you through whatever transition you're going through in life, whatever challenges you're facing in life. I am here and I will consistently give you my tips and my strategies to help you navigate that life. And I'm not saying this just because I'm like, if you need me, call me and I can help and do a session because I want a client. Okay. But because I really want you to know that it is my real passion, my real mission is to support people who need the support. If I can do that. And of course, I need to support my family, and so it has to be a paid thing. But if you can't afford to hire a coach or a therapist or someone that can help you go through these tough times, then please watch my videos, listen to podcasts. There are so many creators out there that are giving really good, useful information, that are giving you real strategies to navigate tough times and help you build your resilience to get through it. So please, 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 please do me a favor and do yourself a favor and dedicate some time to your healing. Dedicate some time to opening up your mind and your perspective and practicing shifting things in a way that feels better to you. Because if you're feeling really, really terrible, there are tiny little steps and actions you can take that you can practice doing over and over again in order to move your life in the direction that you really, really deserve, which is uh, in that direction of your piece or your GPS word. All right. Um, okay, so that was my that was my little spiel, and now we're gonna breathe together. Okay, so we're gonna take 3 deep breaths, and as we inhale, I want you to just imagine pulling in all of the goodness, the light, love, and the life force energy from the universe, calling it into your lungs. And then I want you to hold for 5 seconds and really hold. And while you're holding, I will count. I want you to imagine that beautiful life force energy running through your body and just dissipating that stuck, stagnant energy, any tension you feel in your body. Allow it to just dissolve. And when you exhale, you release it through your breath. Okay. And then let Mother Nature take care of it. We'll just set the intention that she will transmute it into something much more useful since it no longer is useful for you. Okay. So here we go. Deep breath in and hold and release. And keep in mind, if you can take longer to exhale than you do to inhale, that extended exhale signals to your body that you're doing okay, that you're safe. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system so that you can regulate yourself. Okay, so let's do that again. And hold and release. Okay, let's do one last breath together and really make it count. All right, here we go. Hold. Sorry, I forgot to tell you to hold. I was holding. And release. And notice as I'm releasing, I'm already starting the next steps, which is the stretching. Okay. I want you to stretch your body anywhere that you feel that you may have tension or that stuck, stagnant energy that you need to release from your body. Just do a little stretching and breathe into it. breathing out when you're ready to release. And of course, if you do this on your own, you can do a whole yoga routine. You can stretch every part of your body together. I just do sort of like the neck up, shoulders, neck, head, because that's what we can do easily together. And that for me is where I hold most of my tension, and probably where most people hold their tension in their upper back, especially as we enter economic distress in our lives. Okay. That's just me making little comments. Okay. Thank you for joining me. All right. So now we're going to set our intentions for the day. I'm going to call in for my spiritual support team. I ask that you take a moment to do the same for yourself, or just set the intention that when I'm calling in for the team, I'm calling them in for you too. And just take a moment and just be still and ask for whoever is out there, whatever spiritual support team you're looking for is going to show up to support you on this day. Okay. Here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me set an intention that is in alignment with my highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing me the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards I pull, and through the words that people say today and always. I appreciate you. I serve you. And I am grateful for any wisdom you may have for myself or the collective on this day and always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. And so it is. Okay. Don't forget to say hi if you're here. Let me know you're watching. And now is a good time for you to set an intention. So just take a second to either think about your GPS word and really let it settle into your body. Whatever that word is, feel it. I want you to really feel it. And as you do that, I'm also going to remind you to please go ahead and subscribe now to my YouTube channel at Me First TV. And if you are looking for a personal readings, strategy session, or a couples reading, my calendar is open and I am taking appointments. So you can get the link in the description. Also, if you want your free guide to transformation, don't forget that you get that link in the description, and you'll get about 5 different pages that will talk about the GPS and talk about energy calibration and little tips and tricks, really quick, easy access kind of stuff. And it's just like a little reference guide. I have hair in my face. That's making me nuts. Hold on. Okay. All right. And follow me on all the social medias. So you can see my posts and get information. And please, most importantly, don't forget to ding the notification, or to check the notifications and ding the bell so that you can get the notifications of when I'm live. All right. So let's talk. It is time for us to chat. All right. Focus. So where you direct your attention has the power to change your life. All right. I want you to think about life as a garden. I want you to think about your mind as a garden. Okay. Over years, seeds have been planted, some by family, teacher, society, others by your own experiences. And some seeds are positive while others can limit you, right? But like every day, I want you to think of planting those seeds. I want you to think that you have planted these seeds, right? The things that you think about, the intentions that you set, and sometimes involuntarily by your thoughts, you are planting seeds that have maybe fear or anxiety, right? They're things that you think about and you're putting that into your energetic field. So your attention is like the water or the sun for these seeds, right? And so the more attention, the more sun you put on these seeds, okay, the more water, which can be like, you can look as sun as your attention, maybe water as an action, right, that you're taking. So the more sun, the more attention that you focus on these seeds, and the more water. And we won't get into like overwatering or over too much sun exposure, okay, because it depends on the seed, right? But As you focus this nurturing energy of adding your light, your attention, and your actions to these seeds, the ones that you do that for, the seeds that you nurture, will eventually bloom, right? Maybe not at your pace, but eventually. And the same thing, like that goes for the really good seeds, like the goals that you have or the intentions that you've set and how you want to evolve as a person. Even your GPS word is a seed. And every time that you anchor yourself into that GPS word, you are watering that plant. Okay. You are putting sun on that idea, on that attention. You are putting your attention and your focus on that feeling, which is what you want more of. So, of course, the more attention you put on your GPS word, the more opportunities your GPS word has to blossom, right? And become a fully manifested plant, right? A fully manifested, fully bloomed, fully physical thing, right? And so that's what I really want you to keep in mind. Because you get to decide which seeds you focus on. Now, you're going to have thoughts, right? You're going to have fears, you're going to have anxieties, you're going to have all sorts of doubts. Those things are going to come up for you. And you may pay a little attention to it. It may get a little sun. You may even take an action to prevent that from happening, which is a little water, making that grow, right? So the anxiety grows. The more you pay attention to it, the more you focus on it, the more you think about the more you think about that seed, the more you think about that idea, the more actions you take with that with that seed means that you're going to get more um, you're going to harvest more, right? So you're going to harvest more anxiety. You're going to harvest more heartbreak. You're going to harvest more pain. You're going to harvest more confusion the more you focus on the things that create those feelings or the things, that you can't control, right? Because that's what it causes. But if you find yourself in one of those moments where you're really focusing on this thing that's not serving you, you have an opportunity to take your sun and shift the focus and take your watering can and take a different action or take an action on another seed and say, you know what, I'm just going to let this seed kind of do its thing. Now, sometimes it grows and you got weeds and you got to pull it out. And that's just the maintenance of when you are focusing on things that don't serve you, then you may have to then go and maintain that. You may have to deal with it. You may have to address it. There will be consequences to growing this invasive plant in your garden, especially if this invasive plant starts strangling the good plants or the good seeds, right? That's what happens with fear. When you start to, put more attention on fear and more, actions that are in line with fear, well, then the fear is what grows. It is a weed in your garden that takes the nutrients away from the other plants, right? So you are actively taking away nutrients from the seeds and the plants that need it when you are putting your sun and your water on the things that you don't want to grow, right? The idea is with focus, if you're not paying attention to it, right, then the idea is that slowly it will start to die off, right? It will start to dissolve. It won't have anything activating it. So it just starts to dissipate or come apart or decompose, right? And that's what we want. We want our fears and our anxieties to decompose as we focus on nurturing the seeds that we've planted that are for our future, that are for our benefit, for our health and well-being. So one of the ways that I want you to start taking a look at that is I want you to ask yourself, are you focusing, like how we can do this in a day-to-day or sort of in a generalized way right now, is I want to ask you, are you focusing on your failure or are you focusing on your success? Right? So if something happens and things fall apart, I mean, things fall apart. You have to acknowledge, oh my God, that thing fell apart. It was terrible. I can't believe that happened, right? But then once you have acknowledged what happened, right, feeling your feelings, remember that lesson from a couple of, from last week, got to feel, heal, and get real, right? So you have to feel it and say, wow, this was really terrible. The healing part is, how can I get through this? Or how can I maybe do this differently next time? And get real is, okay, what What is my capacity right now? What is in my power to do? What actions can I take? Right? So that is you focusing on not the failure, but trying to sort of shift it into what you can learn from it, right? Or focusing on what worked, on the success part. It's like, oh, well, this thing fell apart, but you know what did work? This part of it did work. I really liked this aspect of it. Or I'm so glad that I got this out of it, even though I didn't really like what happened, but look at this thing, this fruit that came from this experience. And that is how you're going to slowly practice shifting your focus from your failures into potential successes, right? And even if you can't look at a failure and say, wow, that was actually successful, because it's hard for us to do that, then you just want to say, okay, what can I take from this experience that I can sort of put in my back pocket, add it as a tool in my toolkit so that I can now have that knowledge and not make that mistake again, which means that I am more prepared for the next time I do it. And then I can slowly move towards my success in a different way with that new knowledge. Another thing that I want you to think about is like, are you letting your past fears dictate your future potential? Just because something hasn't worked out in the past, or just because something hasn't worked out up until now, does not mean that it's not going to work out in the future. It doesn't mean that you won't get more tools or more strategies. It doesn't, you know, in order for it to work. It doesn't mean that timing won't improve, or that there will be some circumstances that open up to make it more possible. It also might mean that you just need to do a little bit more practice, or you have to try again, or you have to just keep going until the timing is right. Your past failures are not a reflection on what your future will look like. Your past failures are simply information, right? When you fail, when something doesn't work, go, what did that teach me? What information did I get from that experience that I can then put towards my future, right? And you can say, oh, well, this thing didn't work at all. I can never do it this way again. But this worked a little bit. Maybe I can do that and try again. All right. So don't stop yourself. Don't cut yourself off before you've had an opportunity to try again, unless you have really tried every single option out there or every single way possible. Don't give up without trying. Okay. The other thing is that I want you to remind you is, if, of course, what would your life look like if you believed everything is working out for you? Because it's really hard. It's really, really hard to think that when your life is falling apart. If you've got fired from a job, if your marriage is falling apart, if you've lost someone you love, if you're going through some health challenges, it is really, really difficult for you to be able to say, hey, no, and no big deal. Let me focus on something else. It's hard. So that's why I talk about practicing. Everything is a practice. Now, we don't want to keep failing. We don't want to keep having bad experiences. We don't want to have any bad experiences, but unfortunately, that's sometimes what happens in life. So, what you need to practice is getting good at navigating through these challenges and taking yourself to the other side, right? It's like, storms come, right? And so when you go outside and you've been caught in the middle of a storm, and it's raining and it's hailing and it's thundering, and you have no jacket, no umbrella, no protection, you're like, man, this is terrible, right? So what did that teach you? That taught you that, oh, next time I should take an umbrella. I mean, unless it's hail and it's useless or the wind is too high, right? But you start to kind of come up with, oh, maybe a jacket would have made that experience a little bit easier. If I had a raincoat, I wouldn't have been so wet at the end of that storm. Oh, maybe I should have hidden in a lower part of my house, because, staying outside didn't work for me. I got completely wet and I got, thrown around with the wind. Whatever the situation is, you take that situation and you learn from it by figuring out what information did you get from that experience. And if you can look at it from an observer's perspective, not from someone who's just like, oh, terrible things keep happening to me, but more so from, oh, this thing happened. What can I take from this? What have I learned from this? What information can I apply to future projects or options or experiences in my life? That's what it's for, to collect sort of that information to then make better choices down the road when you are faced with another challenge or when you are navigating your life and you go, oh, I've been through this before. And the last time I did this time I'm going to do this because that thing didn't work last time. Or it's like, oh, it didn't work last time, but the timing was off. Maybe I'll try it again in this way with this timing, right? Just got to keep trying. It's, anxiety and fear often show up when you're on the brink of change, right? And it says, like, "Oh, are you sure you want to change? Are you sure you want to do things differently?" Right? It's hard. You feel the resistance in your body to make different choices. But you can acknowledge those feelings and still make a different choice, right? And still be the one running the show. You're driving the car, right? You're driving the car, not fear, not the past, not the future. You right now are driving. And in the moment, you get to decide who's in the car, what you're listening to, what path you're taking, right? And just because you haven't gotten there yet doesn't mean you're not going. There just may be some traffic. You might have to take some detours. You may have to stop and then start again. You may need to stop for snacks. Okay. So just remember that you and how you focus on the opportunities that unfold or how you focus on the challenges that unfold, that is what's going to dictate the rest of your trip, right? If you're like, oh, this traffic sucks, let me sit down, take a break, have a picnic, and then we'll start driving again. Well, that's a great option as opposed to, oh, this traffic, I'm just going to sit here and honk my horn and yell at people and be like, you're an asshole. Like that doesn't get you anywhere, right? Like, I mean, maybe it feels good. So if it feels good to you, I guess keep doing it. But at the end of the day, what you want is to manage your energy and keep your focus on what you want to do and getting there in the most effective way possible, in the most connected way possible to your GPS word, in the most connected way possible to that feeling that you want at the end. You have to try and embody it now. So it's like, oh, I really can't wait to be on vacation. You have to figure out, how can I get myself into vacation mode right now? Like, put on some music, right? That's vacation music. Maybe you put in a little essential oils in your car that has the scent of like the island breeze, right? So whatever it is that gets you in vacation mode, that's what you have to do as you are traveling towards your vacation. And so I'm using that as an analogy, but it's no different, right? And I'm going to talk about this every single day because that is the key, is to practice feeling what you want to feel. Practice embodying what you are looking for in your day-to-day life by bringing it in and amplifying it in your day-to-day life as much as possible in any way that you can. All right. So here's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on what's possible. I want you to focus on what you can do. I want you to focus on what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel joyful, what makes you feel powerful, right? And as you make these decisions based on your power, just from there, like knowing that you have the power, knowing that you can run the show, that is already going to shift your energy, right? Because the focus is then what affects your energy. So all of it is connected, right? And then if you can change your focus and your energy and then kick in some momentum, well, guess what? Then you start moving in the direction that you want and you start to see results. Okay. I want you to focus as much as possible on the things that make you feel connected to who you are, connected to your purpose or your mission, however you look at it, whether it's your art or your voice or your business or your kindness, right? Focus on whatever it is that you feel connected to, that is your gift. Focus on what you are putting out there and putting out the best of yourself that you can. And you will see things will not only change and shift for you, but they're going to change and shift for the people around you, because then you are going to be the light and the example that they need to see, oh, you can do things and be happy. Oh, you can get through these challenges and find your way even after, great destruction. Yes, you can. You can, and you can do it one step at a time. And if you're having trouble doing it on your own, then you can reach out to somebody and ask for help, whether it's professional support like a coach or a therapist, or it's a friend or family or a mentor, somebody that you can trust to hold space for you as you go through these transitions. Okay. So here are three things that I want you to do today, or that is just my suggestion of what you could do today to help you with your focus. All right. So, number one, I want you to write three things that make you feel most alive. Okay. Three things in your life, in the present moment. Okay. Not three, I would, like it would make me feel alive if I had $1 million house. No. Okay. I want you to focus right now. What makes you feel most alive? Whether it's like diving into the pool or running a marathon or when you are connecting with your kids, right? When you're on vacation, when you are doing a talk, right? Like I can say that when I'm doing a talk on stage, it is so electrifying. I love it. I feel alive. I feel purposeful. Every bit of me is thriving when I'm on a stage in front of an audience, right? So that is one of the things that makes me feel most alive. And so that is something that I aim to do and that I try to do. Now I don't have an audience in person right now, but that's why I show up every day and do this, because it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel purposeful. And so that is how I am embodying what I want in my future. How are you going to embody what you want in your future? How are you going to do the things that make you feel most alive? Please, I want you to share them in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. The other thing, number two, that I want you to do is I want you to visualize your success. Okay. Now, I have trouble visualizing. Okay. So, this piece of advice that says imagine as though it's already happened is something that can work if you are a visual person. Now, I struggle with this, although I believe that this is an important aspect to do. The way I do it is a little bit differently. And so, I'm just going to give you my little way that I do it is that instead of me trying to imagine this life that feels untouchable in some ways, because when we don't have the things that we want, they feel really, really far away. And it may be hard to even see like how you can make that happen. So if you're having a visualization and you're struggling because you're not really feeling how it can happen and you're getting yourself caught up in those inner critical thoughts, I want you to step out of that for a moment and instead do my wouldn't it be nice exercise. Now, I do have a video on TikTok, I think, about it. But instead of talking about what you want, I want you to just start the sentence with, wouldn't it be nice? Okay. And you can do this with a friend, right? Because I find that it's helpful. So I don't always like to write things, not that I don't. I like to write things down and I do like to visualize things. But what helps me really anchor things into my body, into my life, is I will call a friend, usually Linda. I do have lots of other friends, but Linda's usually my person that I'll call, and I will speak things into existence in a way that feels good because I say, wouldn't it be nice? So, for example, instead of me saying, like, having the vision of a successful business where I step in front of an audience and I have, 20,000 people cheering for me, which I have had in my life. So I can actually visualize that. Okay. Although it was a performance, a musical performance, it wasn't stage speaking, but still same thing. All right. So I can visualize that. But sometimes it's hard, because my brain is like, well, how is that going to happen again? So instead, I do this exercise and I go, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if I just was able to travel the world doing motivational talks? Like, wouldn't it be nice if I could take like my best friend on these trips with me and we could both like do some work where we feel like we're really doing something in the world and also hanging out on the beach on those like days off and having a nice vacation, like intertwining my business with my personal, making sure I have lots of time to enjoy my life and also contribute to the world so that I can support myself and my family. Like, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to think about where the money was coming from to pay my bills? Oh my God, wouldn't it be nice? Right? Dot, 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 whatever that is for you. I want you to fill in the blanks and do the wouldn't it be nice exercise, because that is a way for you to visualize and really build on an idea, which, by the way, if you do that sort of thing for 17 seconds, It is said that the power of 17 seconds brings in sort of the manifestation. It activates a frequency, right? It becomes basically, if you can sustain that frequency, sustain that feeling for 17 seconds, it signals to the universe, the law of attraction, that you are ready to receive that. It starts calling in all the elements that are possible. Okay. And even if you don't believe any of that, if you can talk about it for 17 seconds or 30 seconds, it starts to feel real. And you are giving your brain instructions. By the way, this is what we're doing. Figure out how to do it, right? But for me, I have to do it with the wouldn't it be nice beforehand, because otherwise I get all caught up in how I'm going to figure it out. The wouldn't it be nice takes away the how and lets you just focus on the feeling you're going to get when you have it. So that's my little tip for you on the wouldn't it be nice exercise that really does work for me and my friends. And it takes away the resistance to saying like, I am successful. No, wouldn't it be nice if I was like super successful and I could hire all my friends to work with me and I could actually support them and their families with all the money my company was making? Oh my God, that'd be so nice, right? I want you to try it. What's your wouldn't it be nice? Okay, I can't hear you, but what's your wouldn't it be nice statement? I write it down if you are listening, if you want to participate, or send it to me privately in a DM if that's what you want, if you feel uncomfortable sharing in public. Okay. Now, the last thing that I'm going to ask you to do today, and then I'm going to pull cards, is I would like you to make one small choice today, just one that aligns with the life you want to create. One small choice, one action. Okay. It could either be a choice or an action, but actions are very helpful because they move things along. It helps you create momentum, right? Because the time between the thought and the action, that time will dictate your momentum. That was a lesson from a few days ago, right? So if you think and then act and think and then act and then think and then act, and the faster you think and act, the faster the momentum. And if what you're thinking and acting on is your GPS word, guess what? You're getting closer and closer and closer to that feeling. And that's what we want. We want to create a practice where we are thinking and acting. Practice thinking about the GPS word and acting. Oh, there's a situation, there's a problem. Oh, let me think. What can I do that will bring me closer to my GPS word? Oh, this action will take me there. Thinking, action, boom, increases momentum. And that also dictates your focus, right? Because if you're focusing on what brings you to the next best place, the next best decision, the next best step, well, then you're always moving in the direction that you want to go. And that is easy to practice as opposed to thinking, oh my God, I have so much to do in the future, right? No, right now, all you got to do is practice doing the next best thing, taking the next best action that connects with your GPS word. Okay, let's pull some cards and I'm going to have some coffee. Wow, I've been going long lately. I guess it's just the lessons, right? The lessons make it long. All right, here we go. We're doing the Luna Soul Tarot once again. And this is, I don't know if I've given you guys who it is, Darren Schill and Kay Medaglia, the founders of Liminal 11 or Liminal 2. I don't know if it's Liminal 11 or Liminal 2 because I don't know if it's using the Roman numerals. Okay. But it's great. I love this. So what are we going to ask today? We're going to ask, what can we do? Or hey, how about where should our focus be in order to really grow the things that we want to grow, right? What advice does Spirit have about focus? Okay, I am listening, Spirit. I am open to your messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you for your advice. All right, because who's got better advice than Spirit? I don't know. All right, what do we need to know about focus? Let's go. Okay, guys, this is the Devil card. Look at this. Now, the cool thing about the Devil card is, for those of you who don't know tarot, right? Now, everybody gets scared when they see the devil card, but really the devil card is about focus. It is about where is your attention, okay? And the reason is that in the now this is from the Luna Soul Tarot, so you can't. I mean, it's still here, but see the two characters, they are tied up, right? So they're like bound by the devil, okay? But really, they're in a position where these things are actually kind of loose that are holding them, and they can actually get out of this, but they feel stuck or they feel sort of under the spell of the devil, right? But really, the spell of the devil is just your focus, right? It's the monkey mind, it's the inner critic, it is all the things and the evidence that tell us that we are not capable of of being who we are, right? The devil is, whether you believe in some type of energetic existence of evil, such as the devil, which means like the energetic evil of the devil, and then the energetic positivity, of course, of God, right? And if you believe that there is sort of like these two forces, what the devil represents is the not self, right? The part of you that forgets that you are light, the part of you that forgets that you are connected to God, the part of you that forgets that you have the power to do whatever you need to do and to become whoever you need to become. There are lots of external circumstances, and we don't have choices about a lot of things, right? So these two people who are hanging from those ropes, right? That like maybe they didn't have a choice and they just kind of ended up there. But then they can choose to stay stuck, to stay bound by this evil or by this negativity or by this toxicity that they are wrapped up in, right? Their mind and their body is engaged in this toxicity and they are choosing to stay where they are. Or then you can focus on releasing yourself from these limiting beliefs, from this toxicity, from this negativity, from your disconnection to your spiritual self, right? The disconnection from God, right? That's what this is. This is truly the focus. The focus here. And I love that this is the card that came up because that's what the devil is. The devil in the tarot is all about where your focus is, because what you're focusing on is what is being activated, is what you are nurturing in your life, right? So you can continue to allow distractions and limiting beliefs or addictions rule your life. Or you can start slowly shifting your way out of it by taking your focus out of where you are bound or what you are being bound by, and start looking at how you can get your freedom, how you can slowly start to disconnect from those ropes, from those things that don't serve you. Wow, I really liked that card. And should we do a Wisdom of the Oracle? Yeah, why not? All right, we'll do one more, and then I'm going to wrap it up because it's time. But I like pulling the cards. They're fun. That's like my favorite part of the day. Like it's the favorite part of my day every day is when I pull my cards. All right, so let's see. What little message does the Oracle, the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron read? Okay, what does the Oracle have to share with us before we wrap up today? Okay, let's see. All right. Poised. Wow, this card has come up so much. Number 48. Okay, number 48. Number 48, of course, in numerology is 12, which breaks down to, 4 plus 8 is 12, which breaks down to 3. Oops, wrong book. Poised. And 3 is the number of divinity, right? It's the number of the Trinity. It is the number of spiritual connection. It's like mind, body, spirit. It's the 3, like bringing everything together, right? And so what is poised? What is this card of poised wants to share with us? Let's see here. Being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. You can be assured that you're ready for anything right now. You know what you need to do. Your skills are sharp. You've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to start new things. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. Focus, right? You are poised and ready to go. You already know what to do. And you just have to practice. Practice focusing on the things that are important to you. Practice the skills that you need in order to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Practice eliminating any sort of thoughts or patterns that do not serve you. It You won't get it every day. It won't be perfect every day, but you can practice and you get a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and you will be practicing being the person that you will eventually become, because there's no choice. Like, the more you practice it, the better you become. So the more you practice being brave or courageous, the more you practice taking action, the more you practice doing things even though you're uncomfortable, the better you get at it. And if nothing else, you're going to see how beautiful life will unfold for you when you are no longer afraid to just be yourself and take action and practice living in the moment and embodying the thing that you want most in your life. Okay, that's it for me. That's it for today. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And don't forget that I love you. And I hope that you go out there and shine your light as brightly as possible, because the world needs you and I need you.